Isn't it curious? There are more great liners on the oceans today than there were at the height of transatlantic travel. That the jet plane, in capturing the travelers, has lost the voyagers and left cruising healthier than ever. And the reason? In an age of hurry up, we long for the elegance, the luxury of being pampered in the leisurely first-class crossings of times gone by. We've discovered that the ship is a destination in itself, a luxurious seagoing resort. The SS Rotterdam, flagship of the Holland-America Line fleet, embodies the spirit and unmatched quality and style of an era when sailing on an ocean liner was the only civilized way to travel. Wherever she is, she's the perfect place to be. Now, on the occasion of the Rotterdam's 30th birthday, Holland-America Line turns the spotlight on its proud flagship. Here to guide you through the innovations and treasures of the Rotterdam is Mr. Bill Miller, author of the Transatlantic Liners, Ocean Liners of the World, and many other books on cruising history.
In a recent book that I've written, I've surveyed 150 cruise ships. Some of them were great. Only one was noted grand, and that's the Rotterdam. She's a floating hotel of a bygone era that's still in service today. She was built in the 1950s as one of the last ships of state, a floating showcase of Dutch technology, design, and decoration. She was commissioned in 1959, and this is her 30th anniversary in service. She is truly the floating grand hotel.
Ik geef u de naam Rotterdam en wens u behouden vaart.
She was launched in 1958 and aptly christened by the Queen of Holland, Juliana. And a year later, her daughter, Princess Beatrix, now the Queen of Holland, sailed to Hoboken, New Jersey, just opposite the great piers of Manhattan, on the maiden voyage. I remember the day so well when the Rotterdam came in splendid looking, glowing in late summer sunshine, beautiful gray hull, white decks. But there was something different about the Rotterdam then, different than all other ships in service at the time. A year before, a model had been sent over to the United States from Holland. The officers on board this Dutch ship, another Holland-America liner, the Statendam, were told not to open the case, for it contained a model of the new flagship. Well, needless to say, the first day out of Rotterdam, they went down to the hold and secretly opened the case. There was the model of the new flagship. And much to their surprise, the ship didn't have any smokestacks. It had instead twin uptakes aft, and this made the Rotterdam special looking and unique. It made her a unique ship then, and it remains to be true to this very day. The Rotterdam came in, and when we saw her, we were all surprised. She looked splendid, however, a beautiful ship for her time, the ship of tomorrow, as they called her. But the biggest treat awaited. Once going aboard, those great gangways canvas covered, and into that fantasy land of ship design. Here were some of the most splendid rooms on the high seas. Double-deck dining rooms, soft carpets, wood panels. Needless to say, she was a great showcase of Dutch art and decorations. There were tapestries and murals, rare woods, special paintings, mosaic tables, Rosenthal china and crystal, hand-polished silver. She was indeed the ship of state. For about 10 years, the Rotterdam sailed on the old run, the northern seas, from the old world to the new. In those days, passengers were carried, mostly luxuriously, between point A and point B. There was upper deck first class and very comfortable tourist class. But by the late 1960s, the jet had taken over, shown its paces, and the Rotterdam had to be converted, and with great ease, because she was designed from the beginning to go in the winter for cruising, to become a full-time cruise ship. So instead of just being transport, the Rotterdam had to take her place in the international fleet as a floating hotel, a resort within herself. One of the great things about the Rotterdam's career in earlier years was that she made about 25 trips around the world. These fabled circumnavigations of the globe lasted about 90 days. The rich and famous came on board, and the Rotterdam visited ports all over the globe: Hong Kong, Bombay, Sydney, Rio, Athens, luxurious places. Then she carried a select group, a group of people, some of which came year after year, like the Floating Country Club. There were people who demanded the same stateroom on every world cruise, others who wanted the same waiter and table in the dining room. There were people who had their favorite cereals flown in from the United States, or other little select things. And what about the two ladies who stayed aboard the whole 90 days and did nothing but play bridge? The Rotterdam had a special attraction to many people, a warmth and a coziness. It's something that she has today.
1957 and 58 brought a flurry of commissions to dozens of the Netherlands' leading artists and craftspeople, as assignments went out to design literally hundreds of artworks that would become the decor of the greatest ship ever to be built at the famous Rotterdam Dry Dock Company, a 38,000-ton, 748-foot grand liner, 200 feet high from keel to radar mast. The design was revolutionary, but that was no surprise from Holland America Line, which had a tradition of innovation in the design of passenger vessels. The first Rotterdam made her maiden voyage to New York from the Netherlands in 1872. An iron ship powered by both engine and sail, she carried 388 passengers. The second Rotterdam was a vessel bought from Great Britain for brief service while number 3 was being built to order. Rotterdam 3 was delivered in 1897, 8,300 tons and 483 feet long. She was the company's first twin-screw vessel. Rotterdam 4, completed in 1908, was 668 feet long and the first ship to feature an enclosed promenade deck for blustery transatlantic crossings. She carried 1,100 first and tourist class passengers and an amazing 2,500 steerage passengers as well. With dozens of crossings in many years' service, millions of Americans have this Rotterdam in their family history. Today's flagship Rotterdam, innovative in both structure and design, is 748 feet long with 10 sweeping passenger decks, making her the grandest of the line. But as impressive as she is on the outside, the true elegance and style of the Rotterdam is revealed once inside.
The Rotterdam's theater is still the biggest on the high seas. In the old days, the balcony was for first class, the orchestra for tourists, but nowadays it's all one class, for everyone. The room is done in blacks and grays, touches of beige, reliefs of birds. At the entrance is a ceramic of the struggle of life, the pure drama of it all. It's the perfect place for it. The casino is decorated in an Art Deco style. Its walls are graced by 4 hand-woven tapestries which illustrate scenes from Greek mythology. Over the casino fireplace are 9 white carved wood panels representing exotic women from the literature of Erasmus. It has long been a tradition of Holland America Line to enhance its shipboard decor with priceless works of art. A multi-million-dollar collection of murals and sculptures and rare woods highlights the Rotterdam's interior decoration. On the lower promenade deck are 4 small, bronze-like statues, which are the focal points of each corner of the foyer. They have a minimum of detail, and although they're somewhat cubist in style, they're just another lovely touch aboard the beautiful Rotterdam. On the main deck, Holland's long links with the sea are shown on an antique map, which is hundreds of years old. It lists the names of the leading families of Rotterdam, many of whom are connected with shipping and sailing. Two of my favorite rooms are the Odyssey and La Fontaine dining rooms. They're both 2 decks high and with a dome ceiling of stars and half globes. On the walls, interspaced with mirrors, are three-dimensional murals depicting classic fables. The work is done in ceramic with a palette of beiges, tans, and soft greens on a charcoal background. The tables are precisely set with Rosenthal china, fine crystal, and hand-washed silver. Overall, the effect is elegant, but also inviting, and certainly the perfect setting for gourmet dining. One of the most interesting design developments in the Rotterdam's interior decor is her magnificent central staircase, which is modeled after the famous Chateau de Chambord in central France. Two overlapping stairwells, along with a series of sliding panels, were an ingenious creation that allowed first and tourist class passengers to move about and in complete freedom between their public and private quarters during transatlantic crossings. Then, with a few openings closed here and there, the ship could be made the all-one-class vessel she is today. The Ritz-Carlton is perhaps the most splendid public room aboard the Rotterdam. It's 2 decks high with a spectacular grand stairwell, elegantly walled by an exotic mural depicting the Aegean Sea. The mural is enhanced by depictions of lush foliage, rainbow-colored mountains, and soaring birds in flight, and all of it on a black lacquer oriental background. It all adds to the dramatic effect. The room is used for high afternoon tea by day, dancing by night. Celebrities like Marlene Dietrich and Grace Kelly, the Windsors and the Eisenhowers grace the stage. Like the fine wine, the Rotterdam has matured well. With her elegance and ambiance intact, she remains the flagship of flagships. Unquestionably, she is the grande dame of the Holland-America Line fleet.
The Grande Dame, indeed. The Rotterdam oversees the tradition of excellence reflected throughout the Holland-America Line fleet. Famous for high standards of service, Holland-America Line has honed this tradition for over 116 years. A commitment to excellence exemplified by Holland-America Line's Indonesian and Filipino staff, who come from a heritage where providing service is an honor. Is it all a lingering remembrance of a passing world? In renewing her elegance on the 30th anniversary of her maiden voyage, the SS Rotterdam reaffirms her status as the standard bearer of Holland-America Line and the Grande Dame of the world's cruising fleet. An experience never to be forgotten.